Welcome back to The Full View. Could we see better service delivery if technocrats, rather than politicians, are in charge of municipalities? President Cyril Ramaphosa has signed the Municipal Systems Amendment Bill into law. The bill bars municipal and senior managers from holding political office. For example, they cannot be office bearers in a party, whether in a permanent, temporary or acting capacity. To discuss, we're joined by Dr. Maake, who is the MD of DTM Consulting. Doctor, thank you for being with us. This has been in the pipeline for years. I remember the former President Jacob Zuma talking about the politicization of municipal management. The National Assembly passed the bill in December 2020. So would you agree that the signing into law is in fact long overdue?
Thank you very much for having me, and good evening to your viewers. I think firstly, let's indicate that the issue of professionalizing local government should not be treated as something very new, primarily because of the fact that the Constitution, in Section 195, also 1A, it also places an emphasis on making sure that the public administration is professional, accountable, and transparent. So this act also, it's not new. You'll recall that there was an amendment act before, which was in 2011, which unfortunately did not follow the proper procedures for promulgation of legislation, which was declared unconstitutional by the Constitutional Court. Now, what the president was done was just to correct those issues that were highlighted by the Constitutional Court. But the long and short of it is that, yes, we might hope that it will bring some little bit of stability or improvement in terms of making sure that officials focus on the work that they've been employed to do, and politicians focus on the governance work that they've been elected to do, which has been a gray area for quite some time. And I think you would realize that if I'm going to be the municipal manager and I become the regional chairperson in the district, it simply means that whoever becomes the executive mayor will be at the mercy of the decisions that I preside over as a political head, who then becomes his superior. And that has created some tensions in some of the municipalities.
The fear is that people have been given positions in municipalities as political favors rather than because of their competence. So will this make, how much of a difference will it make? I mean, how rife is that phenomenon whereby people are given jobs as favors?
Look, the issue of giving jobs as favors, we should also take note of the fact that it largely depends on those who have been charged with the responsibility to oversee the recruitment and selection processes of officials within municipalities. And I think with this act, it put it very clear that if you want to be a municipal employee, you shall not be a chairperson, a secretary, or a treasurer, or whatever the case might be, in a political party, which eliminates already that entitlement which others would always come with. Because I'm this, I must then be deployed, or I must then be given a job within government. And that compromises accountability, because the very senior supervisors of those employees will not be able to deal with the issues of consequence management, primarily because once they start initiating those processes, that processes can really be reversed, or in another way interfered with at a political level. Yes. This will help to make sure that those who are meant to be supervisors of employees must as well be able to comply with the legislative prescripts to make sure that there is accountability for the condition of service that each employee shall have been appointed on.
What difference will it make in a province like KwaZulu-Natal, where political killings are quite frequent and it's often seemingly about control of municipal resources? What difference will it make to a finding like this? The Auditor General saying that more than 21 billion rand was found in terms of irregular expenditure.
I mean, firstly, when it comes to the issue of violence in KwaZulu-Natal, there's quite a number of factors that contribute to the violence. It may not necessarily be only in KZN, but where it rests its head. The fundamental thing is that this act is not in any way going to assist in making sure that the killings or the violence are stopped. There are other mechanisms that could be used to make sure that the violence are stopped. But what the act is trying to do is to bring stability when it comes to the level of authority between those who have got political responsibility and those who have got administrative responsibility. Now, what remains is that both those who have got political responsibility and those who have got administrative responsibility will need to conduct themselves in accordance to the provisions of this Amendment Act and other pieces of legislation. And that, up to this stage, we can all agree, it is one of the biggest challenges that we have in the country. There are various legislations that really tries to make sure there's good governance, but there is always non-compliance. You spoke about what the Auditor General has uncovered. I can tell you that you look at the Municipal Finance Management Act, you look at the Municipal Systems Act, and other pieces of legislations. They are quite very clear on how we should conduct ourselves when it comes to the management of the finances within municipalities. But we always get that there will always be this and that which the Auditor General will uncover. That tells you that until we begin to develop an appetite of the rule of law, we will still have some of those challenges that we continue to see. It doesn't mean the Act is going to give guarantee to the provision of services to communities, but in one way or the other, it will then begin to assist towards making sure that those who get appointed in municipalities are those that are prepared to be held accountable for the appointments that have been given unto them, as opposed to where you find a person is appointed, but there is no one who can discipline that person because that person politically is holding office elsewhere.
Yeah, so true. So changing the law doesn't always make a difference. And of course, you hear about politicians interfering in administrative work anyway. We're talking about a story tonight where a minister is accused of that. And you still need to attract people with the right skills, the right experience. You've touched on that. And they want growth opportunities. They want good salaries. Are those things available to attract the right people?
I think, to be precise, honest with you, it will still take some time for those who are competent enough with the right skills to feel the comfort of going into the system, primarily because of the fact that at this point in time, once you move in, you should be able to appreciate the kind of challenges that you're going to face with, exactly what the Act is trying to deal with. You've got to be able to accommodate instances where you have people who are holding political offices elsewhere. If you are going to initiate disciplinary mechanisms, you're going to find it very difficult, whereas it shouldn't be very difficult. And I can assure you, there are those professionals who may not want to get into a situation wherein, or a system wherein the span of control is not properly respected, to a point whereby you will only take the accountability when your department is not performing, but we don't take good care of the underlying factors, such as the ones that the Act is trying to deal with here. So, in a nutshell, for us to be able to attract the appropriate skills, we need to make sure that the system of local government improves and changes from what it is today to a system which appreciates the fact that there has to be accountability without any interferences.
Yes. All right, let's leave it there. Thank you very much, Dr. Tim Maake, DTM Consulting MD, and let's see if it makes a difference to service delivery. That is the aim.